Welcome back to the channel, the ultimate home for coin collectors, treasure seekers, history lovers, and numismatic adventurers, where each episode uncovers extraordinary truths behind what many would call ordinary coins, stories that break records, ignite curiosity, and send collectors around the world racing to their nearest coin rolls, drawers, banks, and family stashes in search of the next $1,000,000 find. And today's discovery is nothing short of mind-blowing, a revelation that has taken the numismatic community by storm, fueled expert debates, inspired new theories, and shocked even the most seasoned coin dealers, because today we are telling the incredible, almost unbelievable story of the 1997 D. Kennedy $50, a coin that has turned the collecting world on its head by recently selling for an astonishing $67 million. Not because it's made of precious metal, not because it was hand-engraved by an artist, but because of a breathtaking collection of minting errors, unexplainable production anomalies, and design deviations that together form what many experts now agree is one of the rarest, most valuable, and most mystifying coins ever struck by the United States Mint. And to understand why this coin commands such a surreal value, we need to explore every detail of its existence, from its physical characteristics to its historical context, starting with what first caught the attention of the numismatic community, a dramatic off-center strike unlike anything seen before in the Kennedy $50 series, with President John F. Kennedy's profile shifted so drastically toward the lower right of the planchette that nearly one-third of the coin's face remains blank, creating an unstruck crescent of metal that defies the normal symmetry expected in all U.S. coinage. And this off-center strike, though remarkable, is only the surface of what turns out to be an iceberg of extraordinary features, because upon close examination, experts discovered a Class V double die obverse, an extreme variety of doubling where each letter in the word Liberty, every numeral in the date 1997, and the words I and God we trust all appear to have deep shadow-like duplications, the result of the die itself being improperly manufactured during the hubbing process, causing permanent doubling that would affect every coin struck from that die. And yet, here's the real twist: no other coin with this exact doubling has ever surfaced, indicating this was either a die test, a mint trial strike, or a solitary output from a rejected or retired die, making this specific coin a one-of-one anomaly that cannot be replicated or matched. And while many coins throughout history have shown doubling, the sheer clarity and extent of the doubling on this 1997 D specimen are unlike any seen before or since, with numismatic grading experts comparing it to legendary coins like the 1955 double die cent or the 1972 Lincoln cent, but acknowledging that this example surpasses both in terms of sharpness, rarity, and historical significance. And as if that wasn't enough, further investigation revealed a reverse rotated die error that twisted the reverse design, featuring the presidential coat of arms with eagle and shield, nearly 180 degrees out of alignment with the obverse, a mistake that is not only extremely rare but also visually jarring, as when the obverse is correctly oriented, the reverse appears upside down, a dramatic blunder that speaks to a serious lapse in quality control and possibly an experimental striking sequence, and rotated die errors of this magnitude are considered exceptionally collectible, particularly when combined with other major anomalies. And here the coincidences keep stacking, because metallurgical testing later revealed that this specific 1997 D $50 was struck on a planchette not made of the standard copper-nickel-clad composition, but instead on a 90% silver planchette never intended for $50 in 1997, which had not been used in regular $50 production for decades. And this discovery led to wild but plausible theories, including that the coin may have been struck using leftover silver blanks originally reserved for collector-proof sets or commemorative issues, mistakenly, or perhaps even deliberately, fed into a high-speed production line at the Denver Mint, creating a transitional error of epic proportions. And for those unfamiliar, transitional errors are highly prized because they reflect a moment of miscommunication or material mismanagement within the mint itself, a physical representation of history slipping between the cracks of procedure, and in this case, the use of a silver planchet in a clad production year, combined with the off-center strike, double die, and rotated reverse, has created a specimen that is statistically and physically impossible according to mint records, yet undeniably real, authenticated by leading grading services with all anomalies documented and verified. And still the plot thickens, because under microscopic inspection, additional errors emerged that solidified the coin's legendary status, including significant die clashes that left ghost-like impressions of reverse features visible on the obverse and vice versa, likely caused by the dies slamming together without a planchet between them during a misfeed, which left lasting scars on the dies themselves, and when they were subsequently used to strike coins, those ghostly imprints transferred to the planchet, a chilling and fascinating phenomenon that collectors adore for its eerie visuals and the insight it provides into mint mechanics gone awry. And then came the final detail that sent shockwaves across the numismatic world: partial brokerage on the reverse, where part of another coin had been stuck to the die during striking, resulting in an uneven pressure distribution that flattened a section of the eagle and shield while embossing a backward impression of the opposing coins. Features into the field, a nearly impossible convergence of two different striking mishaps occurring simultaneously, and with this discovery, the community realized that this coin was not just rare, it was unique, a true one-of-a-kind artifact that represented the peak of minting era convergence, and word spread like wildfire, with collectors, dealers, and institutions rushing to examine it, discuss it, debate it, and appraise it, leading to its eventual appearance at a record-shattering auction event where the bidding started high and only climbed higher as elite collectors from around the globe vied for a chance to own what many now call the crown jewel of modern-era coins, until the hammer finally fell at an astonishing $67 million, a number that shattered every previous record and established the 1997 D. Kennedy $half as the most expensive era coin ever sold, instantly becoming the holy grail for every serious collector. And what makes this story even more thrilling is that it has reignited interest in the entire Kennedy $half series, with collectors now rushing to re-examine every 1997 D $half in circulation, rolls, mint sets, and family collections in hopes of finding even a fraction of the errors contained in the legendary specimen, creating a renaissance in Kennedy coin hunting and sparking a wave of educational content, roll hunting tutorials, collector meetups, and grading submissions that have flooded the numismatic world with energy, enthusiasm, and discovery. And while it's incredibly unlikely that another coin of such astronomical era convergence will ever be found, the mere possibility continues to inspire thousands of collectors to check, double-check, and triple-check every $half they come across, and this has also had ripple effects across the broader coin market. As era coins in general are receiving unprecedented attention, prices for even minor mint mistakes have soared, and coin grading companies have expanded their error identification teams to meet demand, all thanks to one coin that should never have existed, and yet somehow did, a coin that challenges our assumptions about mint operations, quality control, and the very nature of what defines value in the world of numismatics. And as we continue to learn from this spectacular coin, one thing becomes clear: the 1997 D. Kennedy $half is more than a collector's item. It is a tangible symbol of how chaos, error, and accident can sometimes produce the most extraordinary outcomes, a coin that reminds us that even in systems designed for precision, the rarest and most beautiful mistakes can occur. And for every collector out there holding onto a roll of $half, a forgotten mint set, or even a handful of change from years past, the legend of the $67 million coin serves as the ultimate motivation to keep searching, because while coins are minted by machines, their stories are minted by history, mystery, and the never-ending human desire to discover what lies beneath the surface of the familiar, and with every new collector who picks up a loop and inspects a coin with wonder in their eyes, the legacy of this one miraculous, flawed, and priceless 1997 D. Kennedy half-dollar lives on. Next, 1977 Kennedy half-dollar. Today we are diving headfirst into the jaw-dropping story of the 1977 Kennedy half-dollar. Yes, the humble 50-cent piece struck at Philadelphia in the late 1970s that under the right circumstances has shattered records to sell for an eye-watering $25 million due to an unprecedented cascade of minting errors, anomalies, and historical curiosities that together make it one of the most sought-after modern-era coins ever discovered. So buckle up as we explore every twist and turn in this mind-bending saga, starting with the discovery that set the collecting world ablaze, an all-but ordinary roll of half-dollars pulled by a casual hobbyist who, on closer inspection, realized one of the coins featured an off-center strike so severe that President Kennedy's profile is almost entirely missing from the face, forced to the rim's edge as though the die slipped completely sideways, leaving a broad crescent of unstruck metal that immediately caught the eye of experts who knew that off-center strikes of more than 50% are extraordinarily rare, especially at a time when minting technology and quality controls were more advanced than ever. Yet this specimen not only survived long enough to enter circulation, it was also subjected to further striking on a misaligned die, producing what collectors call a rotated die error where the obverse and reverse alignments are nearly 180 degrees apart. So when the coin is turned upright on one side, the other side is almost completely upside down, a kind of mistake that usually yields minor novelty coins worth a few $100s at most. But on this 1977 piece it was merely the tip of the iceberg, because detailed metallurgical analysis revealed that this coin was struck on an experimental brass planchette, composed of 85% copper and 15% zinc, left over from early trial runs made to test new press settings for upcoming circulation strikes, a composition that was never meant for regular half-dollars, and thus this transitional planchette error instantly elevated the coin into unicorn territory, combining rare metallic error with spectacular strike anomalies. But that still wasn't all, because under high magnification the coin exhibits unmistakable evidence of a Class 4 double die on the obverse, with Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1977 all showing bold shadow-like doubling, indicating a hubbing mishap during die creation. Then microscopic examination uncovered a series of die cracks radiating from the rim through Kennedy's profile, signs of a fatigued die that should have been retired long before striking any coins, alongside faint die clash impressions of the reverse's eagle wings ghosting onto the obverse, suggesting that the clashed dies were used unknowingly to strike blanks, and to compound the rarity, the edge of the coin displays partial missing reading where the collar failed to fully enclose the planchette, resulting in an irregular flat section that further distinguishes this specimen from every other 1977 half-dollar ever struck, and when this singular coin emerged at auction, its provenance meticulously documented from its initial roll discovery through professional authentication, it ignited a fierce bidding war among elite collectors and institutions, ultimately hammering at $25 million, an amount that not only set a new record for modern-era coins but also underscored the enduring appeal of Kennedy half-dollars and the tantalizing possibility that precious treasure can lie hidden in everyday change. And although the chance of finding another coin with even some of these combined errors is vanishingly small, the legend of the 1977 half-dollar has sparked a renaissance in error coin collecting, inspiring new hunts through bankrolls, mint sets, and personal stashes, and reminding all of us that every coin has a story and that one tiny slip in the mint's immense machinery can create a piece of history worth far more than its face value. So as you sort through your change, keep an eagle eye out for anything that looks just a little off, because the next miracle coin could be hiding right under your nose, waiting to transform 50 cents into millions. Last 1990 D. Kennedy half-dollar. Today's epic deep dive we are uncovering the mysterious, captivating, and completely mind-blowing story of a coin that has left experts speechless, collectors amazed, and the entire coin collecting community buzzing with curiosity and excitement. The legendary 1990 D. Kennedy $50, a coin that seemingly vanished into circulation unnoticed only to re-emerge decades later with a fury, commanding an astronomical value of $16 million at auction due to a nearly impossible combination of rare minting errors, historical anomalies, metallurgical oddities, and unrepeatable production conditions that have turned what should have been an ordinary 50-cent coin into a multi-million-dollar marvel and a dream find for anyone lucky enough to stumble upon one. And this is not just another $50 story. This is the ultimate case of minting chaos, numismatic luck, and historical coincidence converging into a single coin so uniquely flawed and mysteriously struck that its existence is almost unexplainable through conventional mint logic, starting with its discovery by a retired coin collector who found it tucked among a box of assorted coins from estate sales, noticing immediately that the obverse featured an uncharacteristically sharp doubling across the word liberty and the date 1990, an early indication of a major class 4 double die error caused during the die hubbing process when a single working die received a misaligned impression from the master hub, resulting in clear, bold, and easily visible doubling to the naked eye, and this error alone would have already caught the attention of serious collectors due to its rarity in the Kennedy series. But what truly launched this coin into the stratosphere was when closer inspection revealed that the strike was also dramatically off-center by over 35%, pushing Kennedy's profile toward the edge of the coin and leaving a blank crescent of unstruck planchette visible, an extreme misalignment that should have been caught immediately during quality control but somehow slipped past unnoticed, and this powerful visual error compounded with the double die began to signal that something truly extraordinary was at play here. But as numismatic experts took the coin under closer examination, further secrets began to emerge, starting with the weight, which was significantly heavier than expected, prompting metallurgical testing that revealed the composition was not the standard copper-nickel clad that defines modern Kennedy $50, but instead was composed of an unusual alloy mixture of 90% silver and 10% copper, a shocking and completely undocumented deviation from the US Mint's official materials for that year, and this silver composition meant that the coin had somehow been struck on a leftover or misplaced commemorative planchette from a different production line, a transitional error of the highest order that suggested an almost impossible set of events at the Denver Mint where either the wrong stock was loaded into the press or a rogue planchette was fed into circulation through an astonishing lapse in protocol, and as the story developed, X-ray fluorescence scans confirmed the silver content, verifying this as a genuine anomaly and not the result of post-mint tampering or plating. And then, just when it seemed this coin couldn't possibly hold any more surprises, experts uncovered evidence of a rotated die alignment between obverse and reverse, a dramatic and extremely rare phenomenon where the two sides of the coin are misaligned by nearly 180 degrees, meaning when Kennedy's portrait is upright, the presidential eagle on the reverse is completely upside down, a visual and structural error that further confirmed this coin had been struck under chaotic or experimental conditions never meant for public release, and the coin's surfaces bore other clues of this chaotic strike, including a clash mark, evidence that the dies had struck each other without a planchette in place, leaving faint but traceable imprints of the reverse elements on the obverse die, which transferred partial eagle wings onto Kennedy's jawline and field area near his neck, a further indication that the die pair used was already damaged or misaligned, suggesting that this coin may have originated during a short run of test strikes or setup adjustments that were supposed to be scrapped but accidentally found their way into a standard batch, and even the reeded edge was affected, showing incomplete and partially flattened edge reading consistent with a collar malfunction, where the collar die failed to fully enclose the planchette during striking, leading to pressure inconsistencies that affected the edge design, and the more layers that were uncovered, the more this coin began to defy all known minting processes, with each major error, any one of which would dramatically increase value on its own, appearing in perfect combination on a single, unique coin, and the chain of impossibilities continued to mount, with theories ranging from test die usage, press calibration mistakes, rogue planchette loading, multi-error die pairs, and quality control failure all contributing to the coin's creation. And when it finally hit the auction block, with full documentation, authentication, and media attention behind it, the demand was immediate and explosive, with collectors, museums, and private investors from around the world all vying for a chance to own a piece of minting history. And after a fierce bidding war, the final price settled at a jaw-dropping $16 million, setting a new benchmark for modern US-era coins and proving once again that mistakes, when rare enough and combined with mystery, history, and speculation, can become priceless. And ever since its discovery, this 1990 $half has become a symbol of what makes coin collecting so thrilling: the idea that within ordinary circulation, among pocket change and coin jars and forgotten boxes of coins, there can exist treasures no one ever intended to release. And the legend of this coin has sparked a renaissance of interest in era coins, especially from the 1990s, as collectors now scour bankrolls, mint sets, and even eBay listings in hopes of finding even the slightest resemblance to the $1 million miracle. And its impact on the hobby has been immense, with grading services reporting a sharp uptick in Kennedy $half submissions, online communities sharing new finds daily, and even the US Mint quietly acknowledging the renewed attention the series has received. And while the chances of another coin featuring this perfect storm of errors are near impossible, the mere knowledge that such a coin exists has changed how collectors look at their coins, with increased awareness of errors like off-center strikes, doubled dies, planchette anomalies, rotated dies, die clashes, and edge issues. And even more importantly, it has reminded the collecting world that no era of coinage is too modern, too common, or too familiar to produce something truly miraculous. And with the success and publicity surrounding this $16 million marvel, similar coins from surrounding years are also being re-examined with fresh eyes, particularly the 1989, 1991, and even earlier Denverstruck coins, to determine if other mistakes may have slipped through the cracks. And in doing so, collectors are learning more about minting machinery, die pair identification, planchette specifications, and how even the smallest inconsistency can signal the presence of a multi-million-dollar gem. And perhaps the most thrilling part of this whole saga is the realization that had the original finder not taken a second look at what seemed like a damaged coin, it might have been spent, lost, or melted down forever, which speaks volumes about the importance of curiosity, persistence, and knowledge in this incredible hobby. And as the story of the 1990 $half continues to circulate in the numismatic world, its impact grows deeper, serving as a modern legend, a teaching tool, a case study, and a symbol of what makes coin collecting one of the most fascinating pursuits in the world. Because whether you're a seasoned expert with a decades-old collection or a newcomer who just found a strange-looking coin in pocket change, stories like these prove that numismatic miracles don't just belong in dusty books or ancient gold coins. They're still happening today, in coins minted in our own lifetimes, and perhaps the next $1 million era is already in your hands, waiting to be recognized, understood, and cherished. And so we encourage every collector out there to take one more look, weigh your coins, examine them under magnification, check the edge reading, the alignment, the strike sharpness, the color, and the composition, because in this hobby, the difference between 50 cents and $16 million is just one mistake away.